Oops. Hoping the reception's good. We'll see. Wanted to jump in this mug real quick early this morning, and I guess it's not too early. You should be up, especially if you're back west. I guess what is it? 5:55. Maybe you're not up, but you still should be up. The only place you shouldn't be up is if you're like in Hawaii right now, whatever the time difference is on that. But I'm still firing them up, man. I'm still firing them up. I'm trying to, and I've been trying to do it for a long time. I just get knocked off my little bully pulpit. I get knocked off course a lot just because I'm just a busy person and busy-minded too. My brain just is like, oh my gosh, man. They're my worst enemy, my own worst enemy sometimes. My brain doesn't shut off. Like a computer that's been running for 43 years that never shut off. Yeah. So, wanted to fire one up this morning. Finally sold my land. People ask me, did you make a bunch of money? Did you lose? I don't know. It came out like in the middle. It came out less than like in the middle. I didn't make. I got back some of what I put into it. Let's just say that. So that's always nice. But buying the house, I don't know, man. I don't like to have all these. I'm not imperialistic. I don't like to have like all my soldiers all over the map. I like to have all my soldiers in one spot. So, eventually I think I'm going to I've talked about it before, I got to get me a spot down in Florida. I'm telling my wife that's, we've made all these goals, and we're just completing them together as a team, as it should be. And our next goal needs to be land in Florida, just vacant land, and then put a little tiny home on it and Airbnb it or whatever. But at the very least, it's a place for us to go in the wintertime, like snowbirds, when we can get out of here, because wintertime sucks, man. I don't like the cold. Like with winter, I'm initially okay with it when it, first starts. It's cool. It changes everything because it's been so hot, especially this summer. The first snow's pretty cool. That kind of, the first couple days off because of inclement weather, that's pretty cool. But then after that, it just becomes monotonous. It becomes doom and gloom. The winter is so doom and gloom, If you could have a nice sunshiny day during the winter, that's always a plus. But it seems like more times than not that through the winter it just sucks, man. Especially out here, it looks like a set of a scary movie, in Hollywood somewhere that they made up, all just gray. It just goes from green to gray. And that is Arkansas. And then, springtime rolls around and it goes from gray to green. And it's just the stark contrast between the two is just crazy. I hear something banging around in my truck. What is that? Something clicking. But, so yeah, selling the land or buying the house, selling the land, bought a truck. Talked about that the other night as I was sitting in the driveway chilling, and just continuing to set goals, man. Continuing to set goals. And I think that should be, I know people get bothered or upset or whatever, but you don't have to hide your head under a rock and totally ignore the events that go on around this country and around this world that possibly do, directly affect you, indirectly, or not at all, whatever. But set goals, remain positive, all this shit is outside of our control, you know? I think that's what's really brought me back down to earth. As much as I am passionate and I do care about, or I think I care about all the politics and all this kind of shit, there's nothing I can do to change it, you know? I mean, we all know voting doesn't work. We all know politicians, even if voting works, right? Politicians lie to get in. Then when they get in, their true colors come out and they start doing whatever it is the fuck they want to do. And they're not doing the will of the people. Never. Not even for 1 second. So, we can't control any of that. Being obsessively trying to think we can control that or corral that or do something with that is kind of goofy. And so, I make these videos and stuff, and I'm guilty of all of it too. I never think to myself, hey man, I'm better than these guys. I know what the answers are and they don't. You know, they're stupid and I'm smart. I think that I've been guilty of everything almost that I've ever talked about on here. A lot of things that is just human nature, I guess. You know, there's been crooked politicians for probably the life of man, right? And, man, these roads are, I swear, these roads in Arkansas are so dangerous, man. Everything's one-way roads, you know, or two-lane, you know, 2 single lane, one in each direction. And then it just gets sketchy in some of these places. It's just like, damn, you know, can't tell you how many people are like coming in the oncoming traffic, you know, they're not going the wrong way, but they're over into your lane, you know. It's like dangerous as hell. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna go in the gutter, or are you gonna run into a semi truck? It's just like crazy, man. But it's Thursday. Time is getting away from me. I was going to say it was Wednesday or some shit like that. I believe it's Thursday because I just put the trash out, so it's got to be Thursday. And we got to get out here. We got to make the most of each day. You know, put God first, family second. God first. I mean, it's all in there. It's all 1A, 1B, 1C, right? I don't know what's going to happen with this country. I don't know what's going to happen with anything. Quite frankly, I don't even care anymore. And if that makes somebody upset, I guess it is what it is. I just, you know, I got bigger fish to fry. I got to worry about my relationship with God. I got to worry about my relationship with my wife and my child, my kids. My spoiled ass grown kids that, you know, so fucking spoiled, it's ridiculous. I never knew how bad I spoiled them, I guess. I mean, we were in the hood too, and I still found ways to spoil them and take care of them. And they're fucking spoiled. They don't appreciate shit. So it is what it is. Maybe when they're adults, they'll figure it out. They'll be like, damn, Dad was actually a cool ass dad. But positivity, man, that's what we got to have, because that's going to get you what you're trying to get. You set them goals and you remain positive about it, I think you're able to obtain those goals, right? If you're a negative person, surrounding yourself with negative people, I seen that meme or whatever it was, I posted some weeks ago that, you know, nobody ever did anything positive who was surrounded by negativity or some shit like that. It wasn't that. I think because that doesn't make sense. It was nothing positive came from something negative, basically. Something like that, I think. More like that. And that's true. You know, you could be surrounded by negativity and possibly still thrive. It's not the best environment, but, you know, the world's changed, man. I mean, it's really divided into two sides, and you have to completely agree, groupthink with either of those two sides. Otherwise, you're just kind of ostracized and out there by yourself. I think that's how I am. I find myself like, hold on. Jeez. I find myself disagreeing with more people than agreeing with. I'm not very tribal. I don't know. Maybe some people would say I am, but I only really ever, I think, cared about what happens to America, and I just don't care about the world stage. I feel like if we're handling our business here at home, then there's nobody that should be able to mess with us. If we were collectively one unit, which we're not, we would be all right. We would be okay. We'd have good lives. Our kids would have good lives. And maybe the world would be better, Maybe the world would be better if we weren't constantly doing, other countries' biddings, the deep state's biddings. If we weren't doing all that, man, we might have a way more peaceful world. We definitely have a better country. I can nail that down, that if we just took our interventionist attitude and got rid of it and really focused on just home, we would thrive. We got this great ass military, right? We got this great military. Man, bring fools home. We don't need to be in other countries. I know all you boomers, I know all you old folks think that we have to have these bases around the world. We have to have these, we got to have these missiles here. Man, bring all that shit home. I think you need to be worrying about what's going on in fucking Canada and Mexico. I mean, both of them are failed states, and they're on our border. Not to get political, because I don't want to this morning, but let's worry about our country, and that's my attitude on it. That's always going to be my attitude on it. I'm never going to change my attitude. I want to love America for just being America. I don't need all this dressing up. I don't need all this extra shit that people want. I think it's the same thing. I was looking for a truck, and I don't need all the extra shit that you're trying to sell. I don't need a 2025. I don't need a 2026. I looked at some, but I don't need that, man. I don't need what you need. I think when more people get that headspace, get into that headspace, and look, all this shit is great and grand, but it's kind of retarded. It's just a bunch of shiny objects. I mean, are any of these things that are in the new vehicles, in your new phone, in your TV, whatever, right? Are any of these things breakthrough innovations? Are any of these things helping humanity leap forward? No, it's just more shiny shit. Bigger TV screens, more realistic TV screens, more cameras, more realistic pictures, more realistic videos. More. Shove it up your ass. More, Ain't nobody watching this morning, but that's okay. We'll still keep going. I'm still ticking. So, my attitude towards things is way different. Like maybe back in the day they'd say I was more of a libertarian, but libertarians are gay. I just I can't deal with libertarians. Libertarians are like, I feel like, whatever, like maybe the party's been hijacked, some people would say, but libertarians are like the fools that just argue with you for the sake of arguing with you. I want to say like Madge Ture, the fool out of Philly. He just disagrees with fools. He's a libertarian. He disagrees with fools just to disagree, just to be the devil's advocate, really. Like people like him, that's what I see are like libertarians, right? I mean, I think was Ron Paul a libertarian? He'd be like, Ron Paul probably be like, I mean, obviously like the more OG, actual, practical, real libertarian, Other people, all they do is just fucking argue for the sake of arguing, If you take this position, they're going to take the opposite position, and that's just kind of silly. So maybe I'd be like an old school Ron Paul kind of guy, even though I wasn't with Ron Paul. back in those days. I was like, I was going from left to right. I was like a lefty, waking up, learning about stuff on the right. So, I don't know. I'm just blabbering at this point, but man, set these goals, folks. Set these goals. Do not let society hammer you and pigeonhole you into just being existing. I would say like, and I mean, all of this stuff, like I said, I always say is like, I was guilty of it too, but like the whole prepping thing, I mean, being prepared is one thing, but it's like the whole idea of like so much self-preservation that you're not even living in the current, the current time. You're so focused on when the big one's coming that maybe it's never coming, man. Maybe none of this is ever coming. Maybe we are in this, I don't know if you'd call this purgatory, but maybe we're in this like forever, man. Maybe this is how humanity is till the end of time, and we just spent so much time prepping and doing all this shit for the big one that, I mean, do we actually ever live? I would say that I lived, man. I lived. I did a lot of all prepping, and I mean, how many chats, how much time have I fucking wasted and all this on talking about it, doing it, but at the same time, man, I want to say I lived. I really, really lived. I really lived pretty much to the fullest. Anybody that knows me outside of this bullshit here knows, man, I was living it up. I'd catch time in between to do the chats, I mean, think about it, like the OG drunk chats was like me going to the casino, getting fucked up, playing, what did we play? We played roulette, getting fucked up, coming home at like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then firing up a chat. That was really how the original like drunk chat started. Sometimes it was just me getting drunk at home, but a lot of times, me and my chick, we'd go down to the damn El Cortez in Vegas, and we weren't that far from there. I think we were probably like, I don't know, we were probably 15 minutes from there, give or take. We jumped on the freeway, going out, man, just having a good old time. On the weekends, it was us leaving Vegas to go to anywhere but Vegas, and I just have all these like thousands of videos, and a lot of it was us just getting out of town. That was the only thing I could do at the time to keep my sanity, because it's so bad, man. It's so freaking bad in the cities. It's so bad. I don't have to tell you that because you guys live there. But yeah, setting them goals, man. We're not in control of where the greater overall ship is heading, but you are in control of your ship, your community ship, your family ship, whatever, You are able to affect stuff in your home, maybe at your work, maybe even in your local politics. But once we get up to like, I would say like the state level, it's all out the window. Most state reps are BS. Like we have all these people here that people supposedly love and they're just so great, but they don't do shit. All our state reps are boo-boo. It don't even matter. Even the one veteran, he's boo-boo. Tom Cotton, he's terrible. Like these are what constitutional Republicans, they're not constitutional Republicans, but a republic, or representing the constitutional republic. They're just representing them damn selves. They're like Tom Cotton, representing foreign interests all the time. What up, HD? Tom Cotton representing foreign interventionism and all that kind of stuff all the time, every day. It's like That's the thing. Vouch for other countries, fight for other countries, whether it's money or weapons. And we're just supposed to be okay with it. So like I said, we're not in control of any of that. We're in control of what's on our plate. Some people would say they're not in control of that either. But I mean, aim high, aim your goals high. Fuck that the country feels like it's going down the toilet. Fuck that obviously it feels like the world's going down the toilet. Be positive, man. Have a good relationship with God, and try to prosper in it, man. I mean, I don't know. I think it's, I think that's like the whole, I don't know. That's the whole winning battle of like being in the hood and growing up in the hood, because you're like, the odds are always against you. You're always either going to find a way to hustle and make money and make it and get things done, or you're not. And then, if you can make it out of the hood and you can make it into the regular real world, then you can prosper, because, you have that hunger, you have that mentality to get up in the morning and fucking go to work and make the money. That's the biggest, hardest part for a lot of folks, is getting up in the morning, embracing the suck, and going after it. And that's my thing now, man. That's just my thing. And my body's on autopilot about it. So I don't know. I couldn't even bitch if I wanted to. I mean, I tried to bitch to my wife about it, about how sometimes work sucks or whatever, but my body's just programmed to get up, even though it sucks. I don't really sleep anyways. Get up, have my coffee, get out the door, and get my work on, because that's the only thing that's going to pay the bills. That's the only thing that is going to set the example also in your household, your kids. My kids piss me off. I talk about them a lot, my older kids. They piss me off a lot, For out of the 3 kids, the one was raised by his mom. Courts let her take off out of state with him, blah, blah, blah. If you guys know me long enough, you probably know that story. But the 2 kids that were raised in my household, the 2 kids that I raised, they knew of their dad waking up in the morning, or, being on that flip-flop graveyard schedule, going to work, being gone for like 12 hours, maybe more, because you got the commute too, and then coming home. And so you would think like, dude, my kids would see that and they would have that same, but man, no, my kids are lazy as hell. They don't want to do shit. Everything's an inconvenience to them. And I don't know, man, maybe people will say that's kids, but it is what it is. It's just, I think when the example is set high, then I think the results should be more immediate. So I don't know, maybe in 10 years, all of a sudden they're all hard workers, making money, doing this, doing that, have their heads out of their ass. But I don't know, I won't hold my breath, that's for sure. So I'm probably going to lose. I might lose. This is a little sketchy area. There's like fucking something fell out on the freeway. Somebody's backpack blower, somebody's backpack on the damn bridge. AR Doc got to pull over and get that thing out of the way. Fucking get run over right there. But ran into old man the other day, 80-something years old, and we was talking about it, and every day above ground is a good day. So that's a great day. Why not make great things about it? Why not aim for the stars? What was it? I think it's aim for the stars. If you miss, you hit the moon. Or maybe I got it backwards. Aim for the moon. If you miss, you hit the stars. Something like that. I don't know. But motherfuckers need to be... People need to be positive, man. I know it sucks. I'm right there with you. But what is that? Is that like... Is that our written story, our personal written story? The world sucks, so I sucked. Fuck no, man. We're out here to get it. We're out here to win it. We were out here to be champions. champions for Christ, champions for our families. That's what we're here for. I mean, otherwise we're just drones. Drones droning on, like the people that work for Hobby Lobby, the people that work for Dollar General. And I'm not talking mess. I'm just saying, when you become a drone for $6.25 or whatever, the minimum wage is, like, what are you doing? If you have to be a drone for a bit so you can get all your pieces together so you can get on to the next thing, make more money, and pull yourself out of the drone business, that's one thing. But people, I know, like, especially like somebody that's been to jail, right? Or somebody that maybe they didn't graduate or whatever, the tough lifers. A lot of those people are the people who you see, the adults, the 30, the 40, the 50, even sometimes 60-year-olds working at gas stations, working at Dollar General, working at Hobby Lobby, and that's just what they do. You know what I mean? It's just, that's just existing. And I've almost worked at all of those places, so I don't think I'm better. I've worked at a gas station, and one of the lowest parts of my life, I worked at a gas station. And that was one of the craziest jobs and one of the shittiest jobs I ever had. I've worked everywhere, man. There's almost nowhere I didn't work. I worked at GameStop one time when I was younger. That was a shitty job. That was probably one of the shittiest jobs ever. And I like video games, and that shit sucked. So, I would say just existing is not enough. Just, every day is a prepping day, and I'm just prepping away. Motherfucker, live your life. If you pick up some pieces along the way, cool, man, but live your life. If you got no kids and no wife, then I guess, you should try to go get one. You need to be having wives, making babies. If you can make babies still, make babies. But that's the joy, man. We need to be back. We need to have that revival back with, obviously with God, but we need to have that revival back with people buying land, building houses, building families, and then making sure that that land and that house and all that kind of stuff stays within the family. Instead of doing the easy thing, or I think is the harder thing, getting a divorce with your wife, shattering your kid's future, monetarily and, mentally, all that kind of stuff. And the hard part would be to stick together, right? Not because you have to. I mean, obviously, you got to love each other. Obviously, it can't be a toxic mess where people are going to jail and all that kind of crazy shit. But the harder part is to stay together. The harder part is to raise those kids. The harder part is to maintain that land. Those are the harder things, but all those are the rewards for you, your family, your kids' kids. And we need to have a revival of, the kids taking over all the, being the heirs to the property, to the house, not, moving away to the big city, selling mom and dad's house, and then living in some stupid ass apartment. That's bullshit. Kids need to be taught how to raise animals, how to raise crops, harvest all that. They gotta know God. They have to know that, the reason why we do these things. I mean, I think it's a blessing, right? Just to be alive, just to be breathing every day. It's a miracle when you really think about it. You're able to wake up in the morning and not die in your sleep, It's just a miracle. And so, I don't know, man. I know I fly off the handle all the time. My allergies are so effed. I don't know why. But I know I fly off the handle about, I'm very passionate about all this BS, but I don't want to be. I really don't. I want to be passionate about Christ. I want to be passionate about my family. I want to be passionate about my local community. Man, I can't believe I still got signal. I'm banking local. I bought my truck local. I bought my washer and dryer. I'm 43. I've never bought my own washer and dryer. I've never needed to. I've always been a fucking renter. I bought my first washer and dryer. How many washers and dryers have one of you old men bought? Probably a bunch of sets, right? Maybe you had a good one. You only had to buy like 1 or 2 sets, right? But I bought my first washer and dryer yesterday, and I bought all this shit locally, and the price was probably a little bit higher on all of it. Going grocery shopping, I tell my wife, if you want to go to Walmart, you go to Walmart. I'm gonna spend my money here in town, in our tiny little town, or the closest town. I don't even live in a town, so I'm pretty sure I live in an unincorporated area again. But, the closest town where our bank is, one or 2 restaurants, and the grocery store, that kind of stuff, like the one tire shop. Let's spend our money locally. Oh, man. Jeez. I don't know if I want to sneeze or... But these things are great because I've just seen so much return on shopping locally, from meeting people and people knowing your face. And I needed some for the truck dealership the other day. I needed something from the truck dealership the other day, and my local bank is right down the street. And it's not just like, I don't know what people would call a local bank, but a local bank to me would be like, it's local to that town you're living in. It's not part of a bigger deal, like you wouldn't say, my U.S. bank is my local bank in my tiny town. No, it's just a big fucking bank in your tiny town. So, mine's the county bank, and that's cool when you're at the dealer, and the dealer's like, hey, I need, he said, do you have checks? I said, fuck no. It's crazy. People out here in Arkansas paying checks like crazy. You can still write a check at the damn gas station for and I've seen it for some lady like $5, Popo in a slow-mo. But yeah, I've seen people write crazy low check, like, dude, just get your shit. Holy moly, I don't know what happened here. All types of cops. Ooh, blown out tire on a big rig. Got the wrecker out here. Shut the highway down for a blowout. But it's awesome. It's awesome that, I needed that check. I said, no, I don't got no damn checks. Like, who's got checks? How old do I look? I ain't, Said, well, that'd help us because, you could just write the check and then we'll cash it in a couple days. And I said, well, let me call my bank. Call down to the bank. She's like, yeah, I can give you I think, are those temp checks or whatever? The checks that you get before you get your real checks in the mail. And she said, yeah, I can do that for you, and I'll give me about 5 minutes. So between, jumping in the truck, driving down the road, walking in the bank, that was probably about 5 minutes, maybe more, 6, 7 minutes. And she's expecting me, I never even seen her before. I know her name because I talked to her on the phone, but she said, because I stand out. I don't even want to talk about what I did yesterday, but I went to the bank a little bit. I went to go cash a check yesterday in the bank, and it was kind of crazy because the wife didn't think that they'd cash it because it was a good amount. So the whole idea is that the bank is really gonna just hand over that much cash to you. Do they even have that much cash in the bank? It wasn't that much, but that's how you feel, I guess. That's how she felt. So I said, I'm going to cash that sucker. I'm going to make a joke about it, and then I'm going to bring it back later. I want to play with it. So I had told her that, what I was going to do with the money, and she looked at me crazy. And one of the like head banker dudes was in the back, and I know him, so I was just going to say hi to him on the way out. And he came in there. I said, "You remember me?" He said, "Yeah, I remember you, blah, blah, blah." It was just Las Vegas, you know. He said, "Well, the guys just came over right now." I said, "Who the hell is that up there at the counter?" Talking all types of crazy shit. And I had the lady laughing a little bit. She's a little stiff, you know. My dark humor was not all that amusing to her. It was maybe a little bit because it was funny, you know. And so, who the hell's this in our local bank? This fucking guy. I think I had my hat turned. I don't think I had my hat turned around backwards. I might have, but not in a threatening manner. Just, you know, in a white boy manner. But I came back with the money, and this is hours later. I came back with the money, or most of it, and I told her, I said, "All right, I'm done with it. I want to put this back in the bank." Well, it was never in the bank because I cashed a check, so it was never in the bank. But I brought it back, and I told her, I said, "Hey," I said, "I got one of them kiddie pools, and I filled the kiddie pool up with this money, and I swam around in it for a little while, and then I'm bringing it back now." And she just looked at me like, "What the fuck?" Like, come on, lady, laugh a little, live a little. It's okay. It'll be okay. It really will be okay. So, I don't know. I'm getting sidetracked here, but. Yeah, man, set your goal. I honestly, I didn't think, I mean, I was stuck. I was pigeonholed. I was fucked, okay? I was fucking fucked. Probably about 3 months ago, give or take, you know, like all my cards, I had used up all my cards, basically. I had one joker up my sleeve, you know, or I had an ace up my sleeve. I don't know. I felt like it was a joker up my sleeve, but, you know, anybody been following me for any time know that I worked my ass off to try to get a house built and all that stuff on our property, and it just was not happening, you know. And I busted my ass at work, but I busted my ass on that land too to make it livable. And so it was crazy to have to let it go, but it's like the best feeling in the world now, and it's gone now, you know. So it probably won't be seeing any. I still got to get some of my stuff from up there, but probably won't be seeing any more videos of that old land no more. And you know, good riddance. Hope somebody else can do something with it. I prayed a lot on it. There's a lot of nights I talked to God about what I should be doing, and I'm not the best, man. I'm not even the best. I'm just trying to stay, you know, consistent. I'm trying to stay locked in. But I could be way better. I could be way, way better, you know. I'm saying a Christian. I could be a way better Christian. That's what I'm talking about. I could be a way better, you know, servant of God. I could be way, way better. There's so much better I could do. And so, you know, I put in a lot of effort, but I could put in way more effort, you know, and just that. And He's allowed me to be blessed and allowed my family to be blessed, you know. Just us. I mean, it's just 3 of us. So it's not a lot of us, not a big old team, but positivity, man. Love, positivity, keeping it positive. That's what's going to propel you through to the next thing. That's what's going to help you achieve all your stuff. I'm going to get off here because I'm just rambling, but that's what's going to help you. Having a relationship with God is going to help you the most. That's where your answers are going to come from. That's where your direction's going to come from. That's where your integrity is going to come from. Your upstanding morality is going to come from, you know. You're going to want to be a good person. It feels so good to try to be a good person, you know, and I'm not all the way there. I want to be a good person, but it feels good to do good things. It feels good to be good to people. It feels good when people are good to me, you know. It's a little dopamine that you can't replicate, you know. Admiration and love, man. Those things, they feel good to give that out. They feel good to receive that. And so, We need to just have a lot more of that. It's not that hard. Maybe it is, but I'm trying my best every day, man. I try to not be a big fucking scumbag. I try not to be a slime ball. I try not to be such a Debbie, you know? Because there's a bunch of us that was on here doing these chats. What is it? Where are we at? 2025, about to be 26. Started in like 11. What's that? 14 years? 14 years ago, there's a bunch of people on there on these chats with us that are no longer here. So, I mean, that should just be proof in itself that, you know, time is short. If some of those people that we knew had more time, you know, they take it. You know they'd take it. Any of those folks probably that we lost over these 14 years, they would definitely take, take more time if they could, I think, I mean, maybe not after the fact, in hindsight, I don't know, but we all don't have a ton of time, and so what do we do with the time we have? Spend it with our heads down, thinking about how bad the world sucks, trying to prepare for the super suck coming in. I don't know, man. I don't think so. I'm not saying don't be prepared, but this can't be the art of the person. This cannot be, a piece of the pie of the human. This cannot be on a pie chart. I'm thinking of a pie chart in my head is why I said it, but it can't be on a pie chart. It cannot be quantified. It cannot be quantified on a pie chart what part of your life this bullshit should take. It should take, it should be like the tiniest demographic of who you are, I think. And, man, I'm just talking. So I'll get out of here. Hope everybody's having a good one. Kick ass. It's Thursday. We're almost to the weekend. Have a good one. Stay safe out there. Peace.